dumb. How dare you say it's dumb?
You'll play Roblox and you'll like it.
All the cool kids are stopping Roblox now. Well, whatever new game there is.
Oh my gosh.
Minecraft.
So, all cards on the table. I do play, Roblox with them. 95% of the time when I do, it's with them. There's one game I've actually found that I actually genuinely enjoy and have played it by myself in the dark of night and filled with shame.
Man, I remember when I played Roblox. I played all those tycoon games stuff.
When all of your friends be sleeping, that's when you play the
Mm-hmm.
children's game.
When no one can see on Discord that it says playing Roblox.
Yeah, I played it before it was like a known kids game though.
Oh, really?
I think.
Never played it.
Yeah. I think I played it when I was in high school. It was like when it first launched or some shit. It was before all the cool stuff was added.
What I played when I was a kid, I played fucking Habbo Hotel. That was my shit.
I think one of the first PC games I ever played was like Putt Putt Leads the Parade. Do you know that one? There's this company called Humongous Games, and they put out a bunch of like DOS games for early computers. And it was like a little purple anthropomorphic car, and you helped him collect animals for a parade. And I loved that. It's called, I think it was like Putt Putt Goes to the Parade or something. He had like a whole bunch of games that followed this purple car.
So I think other than like World of Warcraft and Diablo 3 and stuff being the first proper games I played Theme Hospital so much, which is exactly like 2 Point Hospital now.
Yeah, Theme Hospital, The Sims 1, Age of Empires.
That's good.
All that shit. I was in one of those.
TIE Fighter was one of the first games I ever played and beat, and Mega Man 2.
They didn't have computers when I was a child.
Wop, wop.
I played Pong, okay?
Hey, there you go. It's a basic computer, essentially, so,
And then we did have ZX Spectrum Plus. So we did actually have actual games.
You know what I miss?
It took forever to load.
The pinball space cadet that PC had, that was so good.
Minesweeper.
Oh, Minesweeper. Like all the kids in my class just clicking randomly, like I don't get how this works, and I'd be like, I do.
I played Sudoku.
I understand numbers, bitch.
Child.
Oh my gosh, Sudoku! You played a lot of Sudoku as a kid?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it was great. Give me a Sudoku thing and I'll fucking solve it. Not anymore though. I'm dumb now.
I'll do Sudoku if I have to listen to a lecture or something, because it occupies the numbers part of my brain, and I could still use my language part to listen.
I loved crossword puzzles, word searches.
Love word searches. Makes me feel like a kid when I do those.
Right? It's like, dude, it was
word search.
I always had it was always like, I'm gonna beat everyone in this stupid thing. It's so competitive.
I love it, but I hate when I have like a word search thing on my phone and I'm playing it, and then Mum reaches over and just starts finding words. I'm like, can you fuck off?
Oh,
that's my word search.
Pointing them out.
I had a whole system in place.
Yeah.
In elementary school, I had
word search
I'm just helping, okay?
Well, quick checking in. Can everybody still hear Sirenscape well?
Yes.
Awesome. Just want to make certain about that. Oh my gosh, I had Iris at 114% on her volume.
Blast it.
Is that a lot for you or a little?
Well, it was coming through a little bit red on Streamlabs, so I was like, "What's going on?" And I don't think it was just her. Oh man. Well,
Outlaw at 180. Well, this is me. I'm still learning all this sound stuff on this computer.
Before I forget, we still need to get together to do that map that you wanted.
Oh, yeah. We could do this.
My bad.
Oh, it's all good.
Are you guys ready to do this? You guys ready to start?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go.
So I'm going to kind of introduce us narratively again, where you can kind of introduce yourself and your character as we come to that point. But that way everybody that way everybody will get a chance to introduce themselves. But it'll just be a little bit different than normal, I think. Hello to everybody who's here and watching. And this is what we've called the EU crew. And it's a bunch of folks from the UK and myself and Willy. And so should be good fun. That's part of the reason why we're playing in the middle of the day, because it's pretty much the end of the day for them, or close to the end of the day. We are playing a game called Delta Green. I don't know why I said green. Delta Green, and it is a tabletop role-playing game, and it is a lot of fun if you like X-Files and being scared and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and start. So all of your respective characters are in the States. I know that last week we kind of played ours in the UK. And I imagine that adventure and the fallout from it probably weighs a little bit heavily on your mind. And we actually dated it for the current day. So for this game to take place, it's actually going to have to take place in the future. So I imagine at the bottom of our screen, it comes up and it just says July 8th, 2023 in yellow type on a black screen. You can kind of hear some of the ominous music that we already have in the background happening as the screen fades into view. And we see a familiar person sitting at a conference table among a bunch of other types of what appear to be well-suited out agents who are dressed up, whether it be in suits or some other type of like an official dress or what have you. And there we see the character of Sienna Walsh sitting at the table, listening intently to some type of briefing being given by some type of commander. You look, the camera kind of pans in on her, and on the front part of her clothing, you see a small badge, and it just says Joint Security Operation, and under it has your title for what you do, Sienna, which is a intelligence case officer. You're meeting in Chicago at this particular juncture. I imagine that, I don't know how long you've been in the States, long enough to at the very least warn off the fatigue of, what's it called when you travel by plane? And it's
Jet lag.
Yeah, the fatigue of jet lag. Everybody's listening to this one person kind of drone on about groups of bad actors. And you've been kind of drawn in from your own, with your own expertise. Why don't you describe to us what Sienna looks like?
She's
Oh, and introduce yourself. My bad.
Oh, hi. I'm Ayianna. And I'm playing Sienna. And she's very average looking. You wouldn't really notice her in a crowd. She's around 5'8", sort of dirty blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, glasses. She could be anybody. She's really, there's nothing that really stands out about her. And that's why she's kind of been quite good at her job. She's not the brightest of people. She's kind of charming in a bit of a dumb way. It's not her fault. It's certainly not my fault either. So we'll just move on from that. But yeah, no, it's Sienna.
Excellent. Well, as you are in Chicago, and as you're listening to this, you could feel the vibration of your cell phone through one of your pockets. You received what appears to be a text. And it says, this is the Black Sands Travel Agency confirming your appointment. You know that you have not worked with any such travel agency. And then seemingly after that is a gate with a link to what appears to be a plane ticket. And you feel pretty confident that this is through Delta Green trying to communicate with you.
And this is on my cell phone.
Yes, it's a text. Doesn't seem like Delta Green at all, and you know them. They don't put anything down on paper if they don't have to, or leave any type of a trace. But yes.
Curious.
I feel like they're calling you in for another op. How does Sienna react?
She looks concerned. She knows that these things rarely go well. Especially when we're involved. But she's gonna take the information that she's been given and kind of slope out of the meeting that she's in and head off.
All right. So the camera follows her as she kind of like nods to those sitting next to her, walks out the door, and there's a shot of her walking down the corridor to an open elevator. She gets into, pushes a button, and closes. Blackout. The next scene that we see is in New York, and it is at a writers' conference. We can see somebody sitting at a... and at the bottom of the screen, it does say like New York City, New York in yellow type being kind of typed out before it disappears abruptly. We see another person sitting at attendance at this writers conference. Some person is on stage talking about techniques and things that they have learned and that they believe could be helpful and useful for you to be an amazing author and get your stuff out there. Who do we see? And introduce yourself.
I'm sorry, you say she's doing a talk at a conference?
I'm saying she's listening to a talk at a conference.
Okay, thank God. I'm not skilled enough for that. Constance is sitting there listening. She's a right nerd, so she's sitting there taking notes, and her hair's all falling out of her bun, and she looks a little messy than the last time we saw her. She has since bought a new coat though, because she gave the last one to a crazy woman. She's got her bag full of books and her laptop. She's a little taller than everyone else around her, but not particularly so. All right.
As she's sitting there, you two get kind of this random text messages. And it has to do with the Necronomicon, among other kind of like fabled occultish books. And it essentially, the text, it almost looks like it's from a spam account. So you're not entirely certain why you're getting it, because normally your text filter would block that out. But nonetheless, it comes through and it just says, the Necronomicon and you. 5 ways to gain the power that you seek. Step 1, go to this particular address. And step 2, step 3, step 4, and all of them are, you kind of like are looking through it. At first, you're kind of caught off guard. You know your specialty in occultism. And you know that this message you're receiving isn't really out of thin air, especially with how exact it's telling you. But essentially, it's instructions from where to pick up a plane ticket, and that you're asked to go to Montana.
Great. Well, she's not terribly thrilled about it, but shuffle our way on out of that conference.
Okay. And as that happens, the speaker from the conference actually looks at you specifically and points to you and says, and we have to remember that sometimes not everybody is going to be picking up what we're selling. The audience chuckles a little bit. The screen points to you with a shock of white upon your face. And we exit out of that scene.
Right, that's cool.
Poor girl.
Right.
It's
All
like
right.
getting called out at like a comedian's place,
I
you know?
know. Loser leaving.
The next thing that we see, at the very bottom of the screen, it says in yellow type being written out, White Willow Hospital. You can see paramedics bringing in a patient on a gurney. You can hear the sound, that rickety sound of from the wheels coming through. A doctor runs up to it really quick, looking to do whatever they can to begin looking at this person. Who do we see?
Yes, hello. You see Lynas. This is Willy. Lynas is 33. Yes, 33. Very good. He's about 6 feet tall. He's pretty lanky. Got some frazzled white hair, green eyes, and a crooked nose, and he has a big scar along his neck.
Okay. Yeah, the paramedics are helping to get this person into one of the emergency room, essentially, tables that's not being of use. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check. Just for fun.
First roll of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to look at this person and immediately could tell that they have been in a knife fight. They have a long laceration through their torso and where their stomach would be. And so you're worried about possible stomach acid almost leaching out and burning not only the person, but you as well. It's a horrific injury. I imagine your person starts to get to it, calling on nurses, getting people, bringing all manner of tools and things that you need over to begin repairing this person. As that's going over, you hear over the loudspeaker, Lynas Lockewood, your presence is requested in the director's office. Lynas Lockewood, your presence is needed in the director's office.
All right, so I'm going to give all my stuff to my number 2 in command and be like, I'll be back.
All right. So you leave and you can kind of hear all of them shuffling about, the sounds of beeping from monitors, the smell of cleaning products from trying to keep the ER as cleanly as they possibly can, the footsteps down the hall, and I imagine you're in quite a hurry given your desire to help people. You make your way up to the director's office and opening up a single door to a very opulent space. Like cherry wood desk, and there's even like a small cabinet behind him. All of it is some of the most beautifully refined wood that you can see. With it's in a corner office with windows looking out, with a beautiful green forest in the background. An older man, whose name is Dr. Anderson, asks you to take a seat. Young Lynas, if you'll please take a seat.
What seems to be the trouble?
We have recently gotten a request. Apparently something from a higher up, and he kind of like looks at this message on a tablet. Your presence has been requested to help with a small task force, some government task force in Montana. Apparently, they need your expertise.
Okay.
Generally, this is out of line for you. Like, this doesn't randomly happen. You have usually a lot more foresight about these things that end up coming. You feel pretty confident that this might be that Delta Green has maybe pulled some strings to get your assistance in Montana.
So am I leaving now?
Well, it's the government, so I suppose that they would like you to be up there as soon as you possibly can, whenever you're able to.
Can I finish up patient first?
Of course, we wouldn't want you to leave them in such a state. However, after you're finished and you feel like the patient has stabilized, it's probably good that you make your way to Montana post-haste.
Okay, I'm gonna get up and just quickly run away to go back to my patient.
Okay, you make your way back to your patient, begin to get your hands in there to do what you can. You can see that your number 2 has done a pretty decent job in your absence. They're doing their best to contain and to patch this person up in the nick of time. It's difficult. And so I imagine that's kind of where we leave you is, hands deep in this person, making certain that they're getting all patched up. Blackout. We finally come to we come to a small forest, and it is dusk. At the very bottom of the screen, it actually just says question mark in yellow type. In there, we can see what appears to be just a beautiful forest. Nothing really going on with it. Until we could see a small movement out of the corner of our eye near the bottom right middle of the screen. Our eye is attracted to that movement, and so you can see kind of like the camera like pan in closer or zoom in closer and closer and closer until the weeds, whatever, looks up at us. And it's a person in some type of ghillie suit and some type of stealth gear. Beau, why don't you describe to us who we see? And who you are.
Well, I'm not Irish and I'm playing Beau. She's about 5'8" in height. You would be able, if she wasn't in the ghillie suit, you'd see that she has brown hair, and it's usually pulled back into a bun. Blue eyes, sharp features. She usually just wears cargo stuff, pants, combat boots. Usually just military gear that she wears. Well, that's Beau.
You know that for this particular military exercise, and that's what it is to essentially root out some separatists that have been found on. Separatist in quotation marks, because they're actually some of your military buddies who are being put into the role. But your goal is to essentially observe and keep an eye out and look for anything out of the ordinary. And so I imagine that your tense and your alertness is on high. So it's no surprise when you can hear the sound of a plane overhead. You know that this is this is restricted military space that you are in. There shouldn't be anything there, and to the best of your knowledge, there's no cargo drops or anything like that. But nonetheless, a crate falls from the bottom of a plane with a parachute attached to it. As it floats slowly down to the ground, you can see it. What do you do?
I stick to my post.
Sure. You stick to your post. You were told, after all, to not move. Eventually, the crate lands on the ground, not 250 yards from you, and the plane flies off into the distance. You can see the wind hitting and kind of like catching the parachute every now and then, picking it up in the red, slowly being dragged along the ground. In a moment, in a small earpiece from your ear, you hear a radio communication coming in. Beau, change of plans. Apparently, we have information that the Separatists are going to be receiving a supply drop, and we need you to get to it as soon as possible. Intercept it before the enemy does.
I scout the surroundings, and as soon as it's all clear, I will sprint.
Yeah, it's all clear. You sprint to the small cargo crate, and you can see in it is a bunch of supplies. Looks like it was part of the training mission that, you weren't, you don't know everything. And that's how sometimes these things go. They throw elements at you in the midst of it to see how you respond. You go through it and you find ammunition for AK-47s, medicine, and food. You also find a small note near the bottom of the crate.
I pick up the note. Hang on, I need to go let my dog out. I'm really sorry.
You're
She's
fine.
Really
You're
annoyed.
good.
I'll be
You're
right
good.
back.
So, let's see here. I imagine as Irish is going through all of these various supplies, you could probably hear the sound of a small gust kind of picking up in the ground in the background. It's mostly quiet. In fact, you don't really hear the gust as much as you hear it hitting the trees and the leaves all surrounding her. You can maybe even see like the movement of her ghillie suit being caught in the wind every so often. But dark is drawing near, so I imagine she looks out to the left as she sees the sun setting just over a hill. Almost that beautiful like golden hour moment. But we only see her silhouette against the sun as she's leaning in to pick through all of these various things. I imagine she also takes the ammunition, which she obviously would not want the enemy to get, doing her best to either put it in her pockets, confiscate it, destroy it, or at the very least, hide it. I don't know how she would feel about the medicine or the food. After she's made certain to take care of her objective for this particular mission, she holds the note in her hands, and it's actually in like a small manila envelope, opening it up to see what appears to be a bunch of coordinates that seemingly make no sense to her. But I'm going to have her roll a military science roll really quick. And I'll just go ahead and roll that on her behalf just to keep us moving. If I could find her character. There she is. Military science. It's not bad.
Look at these guys rolling in their intros.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Cool. I just had you roll a military science. You opened up the envelope and you see a bunch of coordinates on it. You know that the coordinates aren't for this area. In fact, it almost seems like it's in an entirely different location. Definitely not in the UK. Looks like it's somewhere in North America. At the very bottom, it just says, your expertise is needed in a joint terrorism operation. We need you to
leave
leave
like Beau
shortly.
would remember that. But from the last mission,
Mm-hmm.
and know that it's urgent.
Cool. Yeah. I imagine she gets down in her ghillie suit and starts to crawl the opposite way to try and exit out of the scenario.
Yeah.
Blackout. All of you have been given coordinates for some place in Montana, specifically Lewis and Clark County. All of you taking your own flights in. Now, I don't want to assume, but a lot of you are flying. And so firearms are obviously, you can't bring them on a plane. Irish, I'm leaving it up to you as to determine where you are. If you are in the States doing some type of joint terrorism operation, that's fine. If you're still in the UK doing a military exercise, that's fine. But the specific reason I bring this up is because I want all of you to be in the States so you can decide how you would like to travel. You can take the plane ticket that has been given to you as an option, or what you can do instead is you can rent a car or drive your own personal vehicle. So how do you think your person is getting to Lewis and Clark County in Montana?
I feel like she could have been over there doing like training exercises with like different military groups.
Sure.
So I don't know if they do that for real, but I think that would be kind of interesting.
You know, allied nations conduct joint training all the time, so that they way, in the event that an issue does come up, they know how to operate with one another. And so it's very feasible that you were in the States doing something, especially as it relates to terrorism. And with the UK and the US being as close as they are allies, it's very feasible. Okay, so you're driving then, just to be clear?
Yeah, I'd probably just drive there.
Okay, cool. So we'll probably put you maybe you were in Oregon, and so you're heading east. How about the rest of you? How are you getting to Lewis and Clark County? You've been specifically summoned to Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. Ayianna, do you think you're flying or do you think you're driving?
I would probably fly, given the details, like the flight
Sure.
details and stuff. So I would assume it was urgent enough that I would have to fly. But would there be some kind of safe house or something nearby that I could get supplies after I land?
So in the States, it's a little bit different. You can actually chuck your gun if you are going to be flying with something, as long as it's not like an AK-47 or something. But you can check it so that it will actually be in the it'll be in the baggage area, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Outlaw and Willie, how about you guys?
See, it's a long drive, but I kind of want her to drive it.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Just out of her pure being caught without a gun last time, she wants to be able to have her own supplies for her own sanity, kind of thing. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
She's a little scared because of the previous incidents, and she doesn't want to get caught with the pants
she
down.
has some canned food, some camping stuff in the back. She has her gun. She doesn't want to be caught out without it again.
Absolutely. Okay. And Willie, you said you're flying, correct?
Yeah, but I'm gonna check in my pistol.
Absolutely.
I'll home and pull it out of my safe.
All right. So all of you find your different ways of getting to Lewis and Clark County. And let me go ahead and do this. You guys see the map I've put before you, correct? Or did I not move you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Excellent. It's not a super great map, which is why we're going to move to a different one here. This is the picture I had to take that I was struggling with. You make your way into Lewis and Clark County, and you know specifically that there is that you are to go towards Helena. So that way, that's probably where you would come into to make your way towards Malmstrom Air Force Base. I imagine. Did I say July earlier? I meant to say March. My apologies. Let's see here. Let me double check here. At the very bottom of the screen, I imagine we see like a big shot of the airport with airplanes coming in. And it says at the bottom of the screen, Tuesday, 7th of March, 2023. You arrive, some of you driving in, some of you flying in, get your baggage and begin to make your way to Maelstrom Air Force Base and the Montana Air National Guard. You're greeted by the sign on a beautiful morning. Some of you are probably a bit tired, which I'm just going to leave up to roleplay purposes. I don't want to impose any penalties on you quite yet.
Oh, how kind.
As part of what you've received is, which you haven't received anything yet, but as you go through the Air Force Base and National Guard, you are treated. They stop you all individually to make certain that you are who you say you are. They see that your names have been cleared as part of some type of joint operation that is being held, and they give you directions to a conference room kind of into the middle of the base. This is an overview shot of Maelstrom Air Force Base. It's quite large, as you can tell. A lot of it dedicated to housing. Oops, I screwed that up. A lot of it dedicated to housing, as you can kind of see over here. But obviously they have runways and the like. People around the base give you directions for how to make your way towards the conference room in question. And it's not too long before you actually arrive there. Sitting at the front of the table is a well-dressed person. Looks to be an FBI agent. You can see them dressed up in a gray suit with tie, very immaculately dressed. All of you arriving at different times. Now, I imagine all of you, with the exception of the doctor, have worked together before. After all, you were at the previous, you did take care of the Marlene mission. A mission that didn't end under the best of circumstances, which I'm sure nags all of your brains to this day.
I don't know what you were talking about. That went flawlessly.
You do remember that the DG operator said that they would be sending a surgeon on with you on your next particular operation. So before I jump into it, I'll give you all a moment to talk with one another. You, Lynas, you can make your introduction to the group however you want, and I'm gonna let you guys have it for a moment while I'm looking for an image. Do any of you say hi to each other?
Are we all just in here already, or do we like walk in, or?
Yeah, I imagine you've all walked in at various times, but you are here, present in the conference room, all four of you, along with the FBI agent. They've maybe kind of like greeted all of you, but now that you're all here, you have a moment to talk amongst yourselves together before proceeding.
So I feel like Beau would like look between the two ladies and just like give a slight hand wave.
Yeah. Constance will give them a little smile and ask how the neck's doing.
Well, I got like a little scar here. If you could, you want to see? She like points at her neck where there's like a bite mark.
Pretty gnarly scar. I don't know.
Sorry, can you say that again? I had to get up real quick.
We're in the conference room. Introduce yourself, Lynas. God, we don't know you.
We're just checking out Beau's scar.
Okay. Lynas is kind of standing away from everyone. Not really saying anything.
Constance is gonna walk up to him with a hand out and just introduce herself briefly.
Hello. He'll shake your hand.
So Beau will be like, look over and just be like, "Well, you coming with us?"
It seems so.
You know, we really could have used you in the last mission.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's not funny.
I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah, it wasn't funny.
Like, Constance is a little laugh anyway, but definitely isn't funny.
So, after a moment, the FBI agent speaks up. Thank you for all coming on such quick notice. He makes certain to kind of check make certain that the door is closed. He kind of like picks up his phone and like makes a motion of turning it off, kind of intimating to all of you that you guys should do the same. Just doing everything that he can to indicate to you how things need to be kind of kept on the DL at this particular moment. And then after a moment, he speaks. All right, we have received a word of oh, that's way too big. I'm far too large. There we go.
what a cutie.
We have been given wind of a specific case that the Department of Environmental Quality, as well as the Lewis County Sheriff's Office, are investigating a particular death. I don't know where to start. One of the deputies, his name is Fred Jacob. He was a white male, age 37, married, no children, 12 years on the job, died 6 days ago, and he died unexpectedly in his home from toxic shock from massive heavy metal poisoning, including cadmium, arsenic, and zinc. His condition stood out as strange when we caught wind of it because of a few different details. First off, there was the how suddenly this condition came upon him. Apparently, over only the course of a couple of days. His digestive system showed a high concentration of heavy metals. But so did his circulatory system. His brain, his organs, in levels that ought to take months to accumulate. There have been no reports of an industrial accident that would explain this type of poisoning this fast. There's also very low levels of a regular kind of bacteria in his gut. They were apparently replaced by something else. And finally, the coroner's report listed the cause of the contamination as inconclusive. All of these details were enough for the organization to have their hackles up. We need to determine whether Deputy Jacob's strange condition indicates an unnatural threat. If it does, we need you to identify the threat and neutralize it, possibly destroy the body, and minimize human exposure. One of the difficult parts of this is that an EPA agent and a state investigator have begun studying how this could have happened. And so, as of right now, you are being hired as consultants to the FBI out of Washington. And I imagine he kind of hands out badges to all of you. You're here to help facilitate the EPA investigation. That is your official line. And to look for evidence of criminal pollution. We need you to look for evidence that can justify restricting the investigation of this case, and reclassifying it as a bioterrorism case. That will allow us to keep the EPA, state investigators, the local FBI out of it altogether. it would restrict it to just you and the EPA personnel approved for an ad hoc counterterrorism task force. And then he kind of like leans in very quietly. There are a few anti-government militia and white power groups in this region who could possibly have done this. He kind of nods towards you. And so that is something to consider. Do you have any questions about what we need you to do or the facts of this case?
Does he have any immediate family other than no wife or kids?
Yes, he does. He has, and he kind of looks through his notes. He has a wife. Give me a second here as I look through my notes. Here we go. Her name is Christina Jacobs.
Okay.
Was he someone who was of particular interest to the organization before his death, or just down to the causes of his untimely demise?
This is an essentially to his untimely demise. We have no idea of who Deputy Jacobs was. Just an idea that something is going on that we need to take care of. When we heard some of the facts of this case, it didn't all quite line up.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you have any other questions?
Is there a way to contact you if we need to?
Yes. And he would essentially, out of that same manila folder or that manila envelope, pull out a burner cell phone that he would slide across the table to you. Now, you will be responsible for your own accommodations and travel while you are in Montana. You should be aware that the local FBI office has not been consulted in this case. They may look upon you as encroaching on their territory. So that is something to be considered, something for you to consider. Also, I want to encourage you all to keep a low profile to avoid complications. We don't want anything like this escaping and getting caught up with wind. So keep it as low as you possibly can. Finally...
Can you repeat what you said about the FBI thing? My internet went all icky.
Yeah, I think mine did too.
Yeah, mine too, actually. Like, I think
that was
Was it just
Might have
Discord?
yeah, you know what's funny is because I see my Discord. It was oh, there we go. I'm smooth again. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say my Discord loaded for a second. I was like, no.
My bad.
I thought my internet was going down again.
No.
I know, I thought it traveled with.
Um,
Get rid of that.
the local FBI agency has not been informed of this investigation, and we would, however, they might look unkindly upon people from the national FBI, essentially encroaching on their territory. So that is something to be considered.
But if we flip the badges to them, they'll overlook it, right?
I don't know if it's necessarily that they'll do it, if they'll overlook it, but they can be bulldogs as they would anywhere. So there might be some convincing that needs to be done. Best to avoid them in all if you possibly can.
Okay.
finally, and last thing he pulls out of the manila envelope is a paper with some coordinates on it. And you would have heard about these. They're called green boxes. And they're essentially areas of interest that Delta Green have kind of like kept over the years, filled with items or materials that might be of use to you for your mission. These are the coordinates to a supply cache just outside Helena. However, you will need a metal detector to find it. So I would encourage you bringing a metal detector along.
Do we have access to a metal detector?
That's something you could pick up pretty much anywhere.
Okay.
Hell, you can go to Walmart for something like that. You could order it online.
Shopping.
Clothes.
I had to do my dance while crying because that's what Jester redeemed.
Let's go shopping.
All right, if there's no other questions, I'll let you have at it.
Do we have access to some cash?
Essentially how it works is the money that you have is on your person, and so
I
pretty
don't
much
even know if I have money.
Yeah, no, it's assumed that if it's an incidental expense, it's something that you can get very easily.
Okay.
Kind of like as you go up, like it all depends on what you're trying to get. Like if you're like, hey, I want to go to the hardware store and get some screws and nails, I'd be like, yeah, we're not gonna go through the minutia of all of it. It's essentially
I want to
like,
buy
yes.
a Ferrari.
Yeah, that I'd be like, probably not.
Damn, slashing that cash.
Now it's up to you.
I'm rich.
Gotta spend that government money, boys.
I'll buy you the Ferrari. I'm rich.
It's not all going to student loans.
Ah, shit. That's right. Forgot. I'm not rich.
One day you'll be rich. It's up to you whether you'd like to use your own identities or undercover identities. I recommend avoiding false identities whenever possible, because the harder people push, the more it will be easier to poke holes.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Well then, with that said, I will let you proceed if there are no other questions for me.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the militias in the area you talked about? The names?
That might be something for you to research on your own.
Okay.
It occurred to me that I didn't want to look up white power militias in my Google browser for that search history.
Why not?
I don't want my own personal FBI agent to come knocking on my door. Well, Stormfront is one, and another can be called
Big booty bitches.
BBB.
The giant BB you're at it again.
Oh my gosh. So yes, Stormfront is one.
BBB are at it again.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It would be
and
so easy to tag.
you also know the Big Booty Bitches often get confused with the Better Business Bureau, but you don't want to get the two of those confused.
No, very opposing views.
John was very disappointed when he got a government website when he looked up BBB online. All right. So yeah, Stormfront is one. He would also say that there's a very local and active like QAnon group, and they're always talking about the oncoming storm. There's also a very strong clan presence as well. And to be clear, when I say the clan, I mean the Ku Klux Klan.
We're in Montana, huh?
You're in Montana.
So clearly there's a nearby Far Cry 5 type cult, right?
There's a nearby what?
Far Cry 5 type cult.
I don't know what that is.
No, the end is kind of, crazy cultist people in Montana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
The end is nigh.
All right. With that said, I will leave it up to you to conduct your investigation. Remember, Deputy Jacobs, he was a active deputy in the Lewis and Clark County. That's one particular avenue you can take. His body is being kept at the coroner's. There is his wife. There is the green box. There are multiple avenues for you to look at and pursue. So, to that end, I leave it up to you to determine your route. And he will kind of like stand up, kind of like straighten out his suit and nod to you all, kind of like looking towards the phone and then pulling out his own phone and turning it back on and then putting it away, nods at you and leaves. The bottom of the screen, I imagine a yellow type comes up and it just says Tuesday, 7th of March, 2023, 9:06, or is it 9:30 a.m. in 55 seconds, and it keeps kind of like counting before kind of fading out. The game is yours. How do you guys want to proceed?
I feel like getting hold of that metal detector would be handy. Getting some supplies.
Getting some supplies, yeah, that's a very good idea.
And coffee, yes, a really good idea, yeah.
And snacks.
That's
okay.
Burritos.
So yeah, you are able to go into Helena and do some shopping to kind of prepare for this. And let's see here. The beautiful city of Helena, big sky country in Montana. A mixture of forest, wonderful green lands, and beautiful blue skies and mountains that you can see from the city itself. The city is not.
I keep drawing on the fucking map by accident.
It's okay.
It's the fire station all over again.
It's okay. I got you. Let me do this. Boom.
Wow.
His Lynas on a skateboard. That's how he's getting around. On a skateboard with an umbrella. On a moped.
Oh, a moped.
Okay.
Jeez. You making fun of my artwork?
Yes.
Helena isn't terribly large. I think it's 60,000 some odd people the last I looked. So it's not a huge, ginormous city. Not tons of tall buildings. This is actually a really good look of it. The tallest buildings are the ones that you see. They kind of have a little bit of a bustling downtown area, but on the whole, it's a pretty slow way of life around these parts. You make your way into the city, and getting a metal detector isn't difficult, so we don't have to spend a ton of time doing that. Are there any other items that you're looking to get while you are in Helena before doing anything else?
A minigun.
A minigun.
No.
You got a loan, government.
Constance is now on a government watch list.
No, I can't. I don't think. I don't know.
I feel like it
needs anything right now.
I feel like it would be in America. We can get some ammo real easy, right?
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just go to like a Walmart,
100%.
maybe a 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah, not a 7-Eleven, but yeah, Walmart.
I mean, in Montana.
Can't.
That's a good point.
That's a good. Well, I don't know. Okay, so I don't think so. I think to some extent you can't just. I don't think convenience store
I don't know.
clerks can
I've
sell
seen places where
ammunition.
you can buy guns in gas stations.
Are you
I don't know if it's in
serious?
Montana. Yeah, it's more in the south though.
Yeah, it's more. Okay,
Like
well,
Alabama.
we'll say that you can. I'm going to restrict the ammunition to Walmart or gun stores because I've purchased ammunition from Walmart, so I can't. So yeah, there are several
local
gun
CVS.
shops. There are several gun shops in the area. There are several Walmarts in the area that you would be able to purchase ammunition from. So definitely we'll hand wave that and allow that. You're able to get the metal detector since you're telling me you're getting it. I imagine it's probably 11 a.m. and ticking at this particular time. We do have to, I'm keeping really close track of the time because we do have to worry about sleeping, as well as I have kind of like events that will happen throughout, and they occur at different times and on dates. So that's part of the reason that I want to make a verbal record of it.
Okay.
Is there anything
Do we
else
get
that you would like to do?
snacks?
Yeah, you can absolutely get
Yes, we
snacks.
got snacks.
Yeah.
Can we get drinks? Get drinks too. We can
Yes.
see.
Right, what's the
Okay, how are we traveling, by the way? Because who's got cars?
me and
I
Beau
have a
both have cars, yeah.
You both have vehicles. Are you all gonna pile into one or keep it separate?
I think we should take both of them.
Yeah, we
You
can
never
do both.
know when you need to split up.
God, that's never a good idea.
Yeah.
You're absolutely allowed to
Okay.
split up. That's
I'm
fine.
gonna go with Beau.
Wow.
All right, Ayianna, and so the federal, or no, sorry, the M6 Foreign Intelligence agent and the British soldier go together in one vehicle, and the doctor and the writer go together in the other vehicle.
She's a historian.
But you guys are
Good
staying
lord, yeah.
together, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay. Are there any other items you want to say that you have or that you want to try and get before doing whatever the heck is you want to do next?
Maybe like extra first aid kit, just to be covered.
Sure. Extra first aid kits. And I'm assuming that Lynas, you probably have like a full kit on you to help people, huh?
Yeah, I have a full kit. I don't know what you would call it. Well, I have it listed as like a first responder medical kit and a surgical kit.
Okay.
So I'm pretty covered.
Okay. All right. You have all the things that you need. Where to next? What's the next step you'd like to take?
I feel like going to
two
see the
options.
body. Going to see the body to see what we're actually working with first.
Do you think we can see the body? I mean, you guys might be able to get in.
We all
I
have
also-
the badges.
I just want to clarify. I know you guys said something about the green box. To be clear, you haven't gone to the green box yet.
Okay.
So just wanted to make that a small clarification. So the body, is that where you guys would like to go?
Sure.
Or do we want to go to the green box first and
Could go to the green box.
pick up some supplies and stock up the cars with things we might need?
Yeah.
You guys tell me.
Extra
Good idea.
weapons.
I'm not going to railroad you guys, so you guys have to make the decision together.
Okay.
Constance
First
is
off-
happy to go rather.
First off, who doesn't have a weapon? Okay, we've all got weapons.
I
Okay,
have
you
a
all have at
pistol
least
and a
pistols.
small pocket knife.
Right. So Green box?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
we're going to the green box.
Green box, 11:10 a.m. and ticking. You head towards the green box. The locations are in woods that are about 12 kilometers southeast of Helena. A winding drive follows access roads along I-15. Then left on Hanging Tree Gulch Road, and then a couple of turns on dirt roads past ranch style. I guess I can get rid of this other FBI agent. He's no longer there. Bye, guy.
He's just following us.
He's just gotta keep on their ass.
That's the burner phone.
So you are led past a couple of turns on dirt roads past ranch style houses. Eventually you come to a place where the road ends. And you know that you are going to have to hike out the rest of the way. Because it ends at the end of... Okay, I had to make certain that this is actually the name of the place and not something that was going to happen. The dead end comes at Ambush Ridge. I had to double check that for a moment. Yeah.
Suspicious.
So you know that the coordinates lead you further out kind of into the woods. You do see, again, there's like one house that's not too terribly far away at the end of Ambush Ridge. So you kind of come to the end of the fork. And there you are at this dead end. What do you do?
Get out my car.
Okay.
Man, I hate the woods.
All of you get out of the cars and begin to follow Beau.
I'm still in the car.
Oh, you're still into the car. Is anyone not going, aside from Willy?
No, I'm going along. I'm curious.
Okay.
I want to go, but I don't want to leave him on his... Oh, I'm going.
Everybody roll me a quick awareness check.
Awareness or alertness?
I'm sorry, alertness. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh. Well, fuck me.
Oh, we're doing well already.
As usual.
Don't forget your buttons.
Nice. Gets a little tick.
Irish is the only one who notices. As you begin to make your way out, you kind of look towards that one house and you see a older woman standing out on the porch, kind of like shielding her eyes from the sunlight as she looks out after you. Now, I imagine that the grass where you're standing is a little bit tall, probably comes up to your shin. So you're kind of making your way through it. You can hear the crunch of the sounds of the grass underneath you. The cool Montana wind is probably hitting your skin. It's not terribly hot or cold. It is spring, so maybe it's a bit on the chilly side. And that smell of the forest just like permeates your nostrils, of earth, of clean out in these parts. Anything else? So that's what you see, Irish. Nobody else sees it.
Do I see any no trespassing signs?
You do not see any no trespassing signs.
Okay. Then I will continue on.
Okay. You continue to make your way in. And Lynas, to be certain, you're staying behind in the car?
Sorry, talking in the wrong side of the mic. Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting in the back seat, just big chilling, looking out the window, like, oh, I wonder what's going on over there.
Okay. All right. So you hang out in the car while they make their way out. You head to the approximate locations of where you think you are supposed to go. And I'm going to need a... And so you're at the approximate locations in the middle of this kind of forested area. You don't see anything. What do you do?
And for the metal detector, I guess. Who wants to use it?
Well volunteered.
Okay. You make your you pull out the metal detector, and after a few moments, you're able to find it buried beneath some kind of dry leaves and kind of branches on the ground. You kind of push it all away, and you're expecting to see a green box. Instead, what you see in the middle of a hill, actually, kind of like having pushed some things away, is a padlocked door.
Okay, so this is not a green box. This is not something we can take back to the car.
Huh.
I think we better get the doctor if we're gonna do this.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Okay. All right. So you make your way back out of the forest to the cars, and sure enough, you see the doctor there kind of minding his own business. What do you do?
Just gonna, like, knock on the window.
Yes.
It's not a box, it's a door. You might want to come with us.
Oh. Okay. Step out.
Step out.
Yeah. Follow.
Okay. At this point in time, you would notice Irish. That's not. It's no longer just an older woman, but there's also a young person. Well, not a young person. Kind of like a middle-aged man standing alongside of her, and they're now both kind of looking at you guys as you go off into the forest.
So I don't want to alarm anybody, but there is a couple of people over there at that house just watching us.
Good for them. Let's just carry on.
So you make your way into the forest again, and it's no small hike. It's about a kilometer. So I mean, it's not like you're not like just going 100 feet or something like that. Sure enough, you bring Lynas to this forested, hilly area. And there is a padlocked door there. Presumably you move some other kind of grassiness and other stuff out of the way, and it almost looks... You can tell that this is almost like a storm shelter.
Did the guy give us a key?
He did not.
Okay, so this is out of character. Is the did we say that the green box was the guy that died? Was that his, or was that the
The green
Still
box, yeah, the green box appears to be unrelated to Officer Jacobs. Essentially, the caseworker or the case officer, the handler, offered it to you as a possible means of supplies, if that would help you.
Okay.
Can
But
we
yes,
just sort of check around and see if there's anything else, like any information on how we can get in here, or if there's any other way in?
yeah, you look around. There doesn't appear to be another way in. You also use the metal detector, maybe looking for an actual box for a bit, and you don't find anything. At this point in time, between the drive and everything, it's about 12:30 p.m. At this point, you feel like you can try and pick the lock. You can try and break the lock. If you have any tools that would be able to help you with that, you're more than welcome to use something. Or if you could think of a different means of trying to get in, I'm open to suggestions.
Let's try and pick the lock.
Yeah.
I mean, if it fails, but you're a strong lady. You could really break it open, right? Just bash it with something.
Okay. So, to pick the lock. Excuse me. I'm gonna need I think it would be a stealth check. That's what I'm gonna say, at least for right now. And maybe I need to fix that. So who is giving it a try? Now, if you crit fail, I will tell you that you'll mess up the lock so bad that you are unable to pick it. Who's giving it a try?
That's never gonna happen. It'll be fine. I'll give it a go.
You're doing it. Oh boy.
Okay, so Ayianna is the one giving it a go. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be one of these sorts of days.
She
isn't
looks
it?
at
Shit.
she looks at you and she's like, "Guys, I got this. I do this all the time." And she jams she pulls a hairpin from her hair and jams it in, and it immediately breaks off and it gets stuck in there. And you blink a few times, and you're just like, "What have I done?"
Oops.
You realize
guys,
she's
she's got
broken
this.
it.
Okay, guys. A bit of a problem. Don't think we're getting in here.
I thought you had the.
I did have this. It's probably just rusted up and stuff. It's not my fault.
It's okay. People make mistakes. We'll learn from them.
Make certain, by the way,
Yeah.
to tag that. Everybody who failed those alertness checks, remember to put check the boxes next to your skills. Sienna, you can put a box next to stealth.
Nice.
How do you guys want to proceed? The lock is so far gone at this point that there's no picking it. You would need to break in.
Anyone carrying anything heavy?
Can I try and bash it?
Sure. What are you
Like-
trying to bash it with?
My knife?
I don't know how effective your
the-
knife would
the
be.
butt of
With
my
the blade
gun.
and hit it with the handle.
You want to try and hit it with the butt of your gun? Okay, I'll allow it. You can give it a
If we
try.
shoot the lock.
You could try that as well.
Really loud.
Could shoot the lock.
Are you going to shoot the lock?
Hang on, let me see. I do have a sound suppressor on my rifle.
Jesus Christ! Right. Just, I got this.
It's amazing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna make you roll a shoot on it because it's a stationary target. This is something you do for training all the time. You put on the sound suppressor for your rifle. You shoot the lock. Even though the sound suppressor takes away a bulk of the sound, it still makes sound.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware. It breaks open, and you're able to open up the inside of this shelter. Give me a second here. You look in, and you see a bunch of stuff. chairs, furniture, boxes, all manner of different things. I'm assuming you guys are going to take the time to go through all of it, or no?
Yeah, I'm going to look around for like bandages, like anything like medical supplies related.
Sure.
Like sharp objects I can use as like a knife.
Is there any way we can at least partially obscure the view of the door as we're like going in?
You could close it and then just like use whatever flashlights you have on the inside, kind of like the picture I shared with you guys.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering from the outside, is there any like little branches we can kind of put in the way? Because we've just gone in a door in the middle of the forest.
You don't want. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did everyone go in?
No, after fucking up the padlock, I'm gonna wait outside and keep an eye out because Beau had said about people watching us. So.
Okay, so yeah, if Sienna wants to try, because she's standing on the outside, she would have the ability to try and obscure the hill or the door. So if you'd like to try and do that, Sienna, you're more than welcome to while your friends are inside.
Sure. Okay,
so Sienna, go ahead and roll me a stealth or survival check. Survival would probably make more sense because you're trying, that's kind of like a survival skill, is obscuring something. I think stealth is more like you're trying to be quiet. What did we get?
Yeah,
56.
that was never gonna go well.
Yeah, Ayianna, your character Sienna puts a few branches on it. You could clearly still see a door that's there, but you kind of look at it and you go,
leaf in the doorway.
You're like, yeah,
one single leaf. There you go.
Yeah, single leaf. She looks at it. She's like, good job, Sienna. And then she goes to
back a little bit. Yeah.
pat herself on the back. All right, Beau,
question: is there
yes.
any books in there?
We'll get to that. So
that's straight where she's going.
I forgot.
All right, so Beau, Constance, and Lynas, you begin to look around and you find a cardboard box full of loose mouse traps. It appears that some of them are armed. You find one fully operational M72A2 Law rocket.
Holy shit. Let's not take that into the city because that could be bad news.
Okay. You also are able to find in a crumbling wooden shipping crate 6 thermite grenades. Do you guys know what a thermite grenade is?
No.
Nope.
A thermite grenade.
I'm American. I know what it is.
These aren't high explosives like a frag grenade or C4 that are meant to just like explode. Rather, a thermite grenade is meant to destroy material such as engine blocks and armored doors. They essentially use a material that just essentially with incredibly super high concentrations of heat burns through something. There's 6 of those. You also find a heavy chunk of sandstone. On one side of the sandstone is a military dog tag, badly warped and effaced, embedded in a patch of some other kind of mineral that's fused with the sandstone. If you'd like to, I'm gonna gloss over that. If you want to investigate any of these things more thoroughly, I'm just gonna tell me. I'm going to just loosely kind of go over what you find though first. Mm-hmm. You find a battery-powered Milwaukee Sawzall.
A what now?
It's a Sawzall, and it has a selection of cutting metal and masonry, or for butchering large game. It's
that sounds big, right?
No, you can hold it in both hands. I have one.
Oh.
I wish I could just bring it here and show you. It's It almost
Oh, it's one of these things.
I just looked it up.
yeah. Look
My
up a sawzall.
my mom has like a little electrical saw like that for cutting up like turkey and shit.
Yes.
Christmas.
Hell
Yes. Yes. No, that's perfect. Perfect.
So it can fit in backpacks. Good. Got it.
Could be handy.
Yes, so that could be very handy in terms of like just like needing to be able to cut through something if you need to.
Yeah.
And there's
hungry,
a, like I said, there's a collection of blades that will allow you to even cut through masonry, bone, or a matter of other things. Boom. Just made a handout for a sawzall.
Okay.
You see a set of 3 glass bottles with corrosive warning labels upon them. Do any of you have chemistry?
Yeah.
Well, you're
ahead.
in here.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm outside, but I was just saying.
That's a science, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. No, don't.
Okay.
And I totally don't. I just wanted to join in, okay? I feel a little bit left out. I'm outside
have
on my own and I'm
biology.
a bit scared.
It's okay. So you're not entirely certain what those are. You see a set of British Army ECBA, which Beau would know this to be just because of her own military training, enhanced combat body armor and desert camouflage.
Ooh.
However, instead of in the pockets, which would normally hold strike plates for protection against high velocity projectiles, you instead find 2 hardback copies of Peter F. Hamilton's 1997 novel, The Neutronium Alchemist. Finally, you see a 1980s VHS tape deck containing a tape labeled, in quotes on kind of like a little label, Star People. And it looks like it's something that somebody would use like as a videography, like they took a video. Like, I don't know if you guys had it, but my grandpa back in the 90s, whenever we did Christmas, he would always want to like videotape us on doing our presents. And he'd bring out this big old blocky thing and put it over his shoulder and videotape us. So if that kind of helps you to kind of envision it.
So is there a TV as well?
There's no TV. You know that through that camera, you would be able to actually go back and look at footage though.
Right.
All right. That is what you guys find. How do you guys want to proceed?
Well, Constance immediately recognizes the book. She kind of finds that interesting.
Sure.
So, it's a very interesting book to have there, you know.
I think Beau would point at the books that she's got and be like, check for notes in the book. Any secrets or anything, just flip through it and have a look.
Yeah, sure. You guys want to see if there's anything recorded on that thing? Or?
Yeah. Beau will take a look at the video.
So you attempt to look at the video, and you realize the recorder is not turning on. You check the battery compartment to see that essentially corrosion has destroyed the camera's ability to operate. However, it looks like the tape is still intact.
I will take the tape and put it in my backpack.
Okay, you have the tape and it is in your backpack. you look at the books, Cadence, and Peter F. Hamilton is an actual science fiction author from the UK. You can easily look that up in Wikipedia. So if you'd like to look up some more information on that, I will allow you to.
Yeah, I just looked it up. What is it like? Yeah, sci-fi, energy-based alien life form. Interesting.
Okay. You've pretty much made your way through all of the materials. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like a rocket launcher or combat armor. You tried looking at the tape. The only other thing that has kind of is that heavy chunk of sandstone.
I want to take a look at that.
Sure. Roll me a military science check.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, bummer.
Nah.
Yeah, you are uncertain as you're looking at the dog tag embedded in the chunk of sandstone. Does anybody have geology or search or archaeology that you'd like to use?
Ooh, I get archaeology.
Go ahead and roll it.
It's coming in handy.
Well, we'll see. She still has to succeed at the roll.
Oops, I accidentally rolled it twice. Oh no.
Critical six. Oh, bummer.
The first one was a failure.
Yeah, the first one was a failure.
Shit.
The first one was a misclick, right?
If anybody else has search, you're more than welcome to try and utilize it. But Cadence is looking
I'm
at
gonna
this,
search around.
and nothing really comes out to her.
Nice.
Oh my gosh!
So close, so close.
Yeah, you look at the sandstone, and you're not certain either.
It's a rock.
Go
It
ahead
looks
and
like a block.
it does. It looks like a big old chunk of sandstone.
Yeah, that's sand, all right.
Can I try my search or just my military science? Just fumble
Yes. Go ahead and roll your search. We'll see.
Come on, Beau.
it? Hey!
Success. Oh,
Barely.
barely.
Good job.
I can't believe my
Um,
second roll was a critical success. I'm so mad.
Oh, actually, you have a straight up 60, and you wouldn't have even needed to search. You wouldn't have even needed to have rolled. Rather, I would have. That's because of your how much you have on the score. That's something I could have actually just given you. So that's my bad. Actually, let me just double check on that with your other search. No. Archaeology? Nope. Okay. As you're looking into this bow, you can kind of see, you're able to discern some letters below in the chunk of sandstone. Unfortunately, some of it is too rubbed out to tell. That's what I've used the pound signs for. But you are able to ascertain those letters in the sandstone.
Well, I can make one of them out.
Oh, Jonathan. Professor Umbridge from Harry Potter. Nice.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys, you've looked through pretty much everything that you can in this place.
Can I take a picture on my phone of the information on the sandstone stuff?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you get a photo on your phone of that particular sandstone. You're not entirely certain what to make of it yet. Maybe it'll come in handy later. You don't know, but you have it.
Is there anything like any of the pages folded over from the book, any random bits of paper in there. Like she's literally just having a quick look at anything glaringly obvious for them, or just books.
Yeah, they appear to be just books. You get the vibe that essentially somebody was using these big, thick books as instead of plating, where the plates could go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn to the group and I'm gonna be like, I feel like we should take everything that could be used to hurt somebody, simply because there is no lock on the door anymore.
What are we gonna do about this huge explosive thing? It's not like we can walk out the forest with that.
I guess I can put it in my boot.
You can absolutely walk out with it, but yeah, it will be kind of strange, especially with people looking on.
Yeah. But we are gonna have to take that now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Time goes by. At the yellow part of this, the yellow type on the screen just says 1 p.m.
Man, you're making me nervous for all these times.
I don't know why you'd be nervous, Irish.
We can grab it, head back.
Because I know you, dude.
See if they're still outside watching stuff before we just have you walk past with
Well,
them.
I could cover it up.
Okay.
Okay. Trying to like hide a giant rocket launcher underneath your shirt, kind of?
Just like cover it with some, I don't know, is there any like top or something in there?
Roll me a luck roll. 50% chance. One underneath 50, there is a tarp. Over? No. Critical success. Yes.
7 tops.
There's so many tarps.
Tarp factory back here.
It is.
Found a secret door to a tarp factory.
This isn't Narnia.
It's being woven right in front of you.
Good luck. That's crazy.
Fine, we can cover up the door with them now.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. So actually, yeah. So that will be the critical. Not only do you find a tarp, you find essentially some sheeting or what have you that is in camo, suited for the forest. That would be, and it's not just like camo. It also has some like, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but snipers use them. They're kind of like little tents that have a ghillie suit on them.
Yeah, like the ghillie tent.
And I'm gonna say, yeah. So that's essentially what you see is a tarp that's essentially a ghillie tent that you could utilize, and maybe that would help you to hide the door.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Should we?
Man, I didn't see that there because it's camo. That's crazy.
And there's also a regular tarp.
So I'm in two minds now. Do we leave the rocket here and hope the camo's enough? Or do we just take it with us just to be careful? And there is the other thing. If we take it with us, if we get stopped and there's a rocket in our boot.
You know, I get there might be some crazy groups around here, but if the people, you know, put this here, we're dumb enough to just leave it here, then whoops. Let's hope that the top is good enough, I guess.
So I just think this is so interesting because I guarantee you, if I was to play with this with a group of Americans, there would be no question. They'd be like, "Yeah, we'll take the rocket launcher." Like
That's what I'm thinking in my head.
yeah, you're like
rocket launcher, dude.
Yeah, it's the
What's
rocket
gonna
launcher.
happen?
But
I've been asking for a rocket launcher for weeks.
We're in
Yeah,
Montana, you know.
And I'm not even saying that the way you guys are thinking about it is wrong or anything. I just think it's a very interesting, unique difference because
Yeah, I mean, I would
We're in
rather
Montana,
not take
you know?
it if we can get away with not taking it.
Is it more of like the town we're in? Is it more like a rural town? You know, like we're talking, you know, maybe a little more leaning to the right, or is it more like
So
to the left.
a good rule of thumb. Okay, so that's actually a very good question. Montana is interesting and unique because it has a lot of people would just assume that because it's more rural that it is probably going to lean more right. And to some things it does, especially like on issues of like the Second Amendment, gun rights, that type of thing.
Right.
But a big reason for Montana's existence is because they've got these, especially Helena, is because they have all of these crazy, amazing, beautiful state parks, state national parks that are preserved. And so you would know a good portion of Helena works for the federal government. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're left or they're right, but they know what side their bread is buttered on, is kind of what I'm trying to get at. And also cities on the whole that are a little bit bigger tend to lean a little bit more left. So
Yeah, I just didn't know how big Helena was.
yeah, 62,000 some odd people. So it's not terribly large, but yeah.
Also, did we see if the rocket had ammo?
Yeah, it has one. It's
shot.
one fully operational.
Opportunity.
One opportunity. Don't miss your shot.
Okay.
I feel like we should keep the rocket here.
I'm with you.
Because if we get stopped with that thing, FBI badge or no, it's game over.
And but yeah.
We do have this top that we can cover the door with.
Yeah, let's go with it.
So I'm gonna try and hide the rocket behind boxes and books and stuff. And
Okay.
I feel like we'd take like the weapon, like the knives and the armor and stuff.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Irish, what branch of the royal, what branch of the UK's military are you with? Are you Marines? Are you Army? Are you Navy? Are you Air Force? It's important.
I think I put down Marine, didn't I?
You put down.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's Marines. That actually changes things. You have a small epiphany, and you go back to look at the piece of sandstone. And you look at those dog tags again, and you actually realize that they are World War II era U.S. Navy dog tags embedded in this chunk of sandstone.
Oh shit, that's cool.
What kind of science do you have, Willie? If any?
I have biology.
That'll work. Go ahead and roll me science.
Useful.
Roll me science biology really quick.
What?
Hey, I know a lot about history.
Fuck.
68. This is and I really want to share this with you. Roll me a medicine check. last chance.
Medicine check? Oh, that's easy, dude.
If you fail
Easy
this,
W.
Oh, that was...
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my god.
Are you fucking
Wow.
kidding?
You can tell me, and no one will believe me. Yeah, this is World War I era. There's a piece of fingernail right here.
Yeah, sure.
that is amazing. Yeah, you're
I'm a 90, dude.
It's so weird. Some of it, like you're not entirely certain. You're just like totally thrown through a loop about what the hell this is. It doesn't look like rock. It just looks odd.
So I'm super curious. I'm just gonna take the rock with me, but not rock.
Okay, so it is
How
a
big
heavy.
this rock?
It's a heavy chunk of sandstone. Actually, I think
God, I'm pretty
there's
weak.
a piece of it in the picture of the green box that I sent you. That handout. To the right of that image, you'll see kind of like
That's fucking huge.
Where is
yeah.
it? The green box.
Here, I'll
Because I'm a bit of
Oh,
a
that
history.
thing. That's what that is.
Yes,
I'm a bit of a
it's
history buff.
huge.
I want to take some pictures of like.
I was thinking like it was like a little tiny like break.
Okay, so yeah, I'll allow you to take some pictures of it. That's absolutely yeah. You can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And one last check. Does anybody have geology at all? Probably not.
Can I try and lift it once we take pictures?
Sure. Roll me a strength check. If you fumble, you're getting a hernia. I'm not even joking either.
Athlete's foot.
Athlete's foot. Failure. Yeah, you try to lift it, you're just unable to. It's very heavy.
That's a very strong.
You feel like you might be able to take like a sample off of it.
Do you wanna? Yeah. It's just dust.
Well, I'll take like a 6-inch sample. Or I'll pull out like my little nice. Is it sandstone, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to cut.
Yeah.
Grab knives.
Absolutely. That sounds good.
Okay.
So you're able to kind of like get some of that into like a vial of sorts to kind of look at a later basis. You guys have gone through everything unless, so you can step outside or you can, if there's anything else you'd like to try and do. Also, Sienna hasn't seen the inside of this place. So if you wanted to give her a whack at it, she could too.
I was gonna say before we go, can I kind of give a gentle poke to the corrosive bottle, see if there's any names of anything? See if there's any labels that aren't just corrosive.
Oh, on the bottles.
Yeah.
There's it just has corrosive warning labels on them. You do see next to them are they're glass bottles. You do see next to them rags. But other than that, you're not entirely certain.
While
Actually-
this is going on,
Does anyone have explosives?
I memed about taking it, but I didn't.
Oh,
Okay.
demolitions.
Demolitions,
Do
my
you have
bad.
demolitions?
Nope.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
then never mind. All right, so you were going to
Is
say?
anything written in Latin?
No.
while this is going on, Beau's gonna step outside and give forget name. Sienna.
Uh-huh.
Give Sienna a little nudge with her elbow. You can go in and have a look.
All right. Sienna, you're in there. Is there anything you'd like to take a look at? Or looks like they pretty much got everything. You see the rocket launcher. They told you about it. It's kind of covered up at this point. I'm assuming you took the thermite grenades. You guys took the Sawzall. You took the bottles. You took the combat body armor. You took the tape. Really, the only thing left behind is the box full of loose mouse traps, unless you want to take that, as well as the heavy chunk of sandstone.
Oh god, you're the mouse traps. That was weird.
That is kind of weird.
I can't
So,
like a
how
part
did-
of Constance wants to shake the box and the other part is just like, nope.
I have a question out of character real quick.
Sure.
Or like character sheet. I should be
Yeah.
checking off everything that I fail, right?
Correct. Any check you
Mhm.
fail.
What does that
go
actually
ahead.
mean?
So what happens is at the end, every 2 sessions, you'll get a chance to there's no really leveling up in Delta Green, but what you do is you can get better at skills that you failed at. And so there's you get to roll a D4 on every skill. Yeah. So failing isn't terrible. It's not so awful.
I see.
So will I be at 15 hit points forever?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
God, I thought I was gonna like go up in hit points a little bit. Besides having 10.
Nope. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Your hit points will always stay that way. Your willpower will always stay that way. Your sanity will mostly just go down. It will have a chance to go up.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. That's part of the wonder.
This game just got a lot more scary.
Yeah, that's part of the wonderfulness of Delta Green is
Wonderful.
yes, as a GM.
Excuse me.
Is yeah, you're locked in.
Oh, I don't like that.
Man, 15 hit points.
So you're telling me I can get
It'll be
100% medicine
fine.
if I?
No, the
succeed?
highest you can ever get on a skill is 99.
Oh.
So you can always critically fail.
Ooh. I did critically fail already with 100.
Exactly.
Actually, there's been 2 100% rolls. That's crazy.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
101.
Sienna, it is yours. Do you want to take a look at the at any of this stuff, or are you good?
I'm gonna take a look at the rock.
Okay. Do you have science, geology, or archaeology?
I have a tiny bit of archaeology.
Go ahead and so archaeology. Oh well, we already figured that out. That was the letters, is what you could figure out from that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have geology or military science, I'll even allow biology.
That would be a huge no.
Okay, so you look at it and you're like, "That's interesting."
Yeah, it's a rock.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do while you're in there then, before leaving? Okay.
No, I mean I assume they've been pretty thorough and
Sure.
they
That
would
was
have
dumb of
said,
you.
So
So time passes. You eventually exit after kind of like looking through everything. You guys are out in front of the forest again. You place the tarp as best as you can. The kind of ghillie went in front of the God dang it, storm
Wall?
shelter. Yeah,
Oh.
the door. You leave the rocket launcher behind, and you decide you've done a pretty good job of obscuring this place. And you begin to walk towards the back to your car. It says 1:30 p.m. at the bottom of the screen as not just an older woman and a son, but 2 kiddos are also standing out on the deck as you guys walk back. Just kind of looking at you, talking amongst themselves.
I just keep walking.
Okay. All right. You are in your vehicles. Well, what would you like to do next?
I can't remember what we had to do. It's the green box.
we were gonna go check out the body, weren't we?
Yeah. You want to check out the body?
What time is it?
1:30.
It is
So
1:30
can you
p.m.
can you do an overview of what the mission was again? Was it to figure out how he died?
Yes. So you've been called because there is a deputy sheriff who goes by the name of Fred Jacob, who died unexpectedly. He seemed to be healthy, and then 3 days later was found to be dead from heavy metal
The metal
poisoning.
poison, yeah.
Yes. because of the onset of everything, the kind of mysteriousness of it all, they Delta Green wanted you guys to investigate to ascertain whether something unnatural possibly is at play. The other odd part was they found something in his stomach. There was a lack of regular gut bacteria, instead replaced by something else. So they want you to determine whether or not his condition indicates an unnatural threat. They want you to, if it is one, they would like for you to neutralize it, to destroy the body, and minimize human exposure. They also want you to look for some type of evidence that could allow you to justify restricting the investigation as a classified bioterrorism case. That way, other people won't be able to stick their noses into it.
Right.
Even government, well-natured and government employees. And so that's kind of what's going on. Now, you know that there's the green box. You know that there is Deputy Jacob's body. And you also know that he had a wife. You also know that he worked at the sheriff's office. Those are kind of all the leads that you currently have.
Okay. We could go visit the wife. We could go to the body, or we can go to the sheriff's office.
I
I think we need to find out what he was doing, a few days, like before he got sick.
What, like, we need to determine what kind of
If he came into contact with anything, what
Yeah.
job-wise, what
yeah.
was he
If he
doing?
was on like a on a certain mission or a job or something. Sheriff's office.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do we
You
all want
guys-
to go, or do we want to split up and come at it from two different ways? Like, go and see the wife as well?
I was about to suggest, it's up to you guys. I'm down for speaking to either.
Absolutely,
I mean, the
your
other
call.
option is taking Lynas to the coroner's.
Yeah.
He's smart. He might be able to know. He might know something.
He's the only one that's actually likely to find out anything at the coroner's.
I can always drive him there.
Yeah, we can
We
go
can
visit
go
the
check
sheriff.
that out.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
we could do that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So what's the plan?
We're splitting up.
Okay.
Hell
who-
yeah.
You have two vehicles. Who's going with who? And let's go ahead and kind of utilize our. Who's going with who?
Are
Well,
you going? Is Constance
Yes,
driving?
we're going to the
driving Lynas to the coroner.
coroners, and you guys go talk to the go to the sheriff's office. And how long do you want? Like a couple hours? We'll meet in a coffee shop nearby.
What
or
is it?
something?
1:30. So yeah, if we check in with each other, how long is it going to take to get there for a start?
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
good point.
you hike back. It's only a kilometer. It's 12 kilometers south of Helena, but it's rural roads, rocky roads, and so I would say about a half an hour probably before you're able to get back to Helena. Maybe 40 minutes at the most for both of you, and you're both going into Helena, so you pretty much follow each other the majority of the way. I think I said it was 1:30 when you guys were all done, so we'll say it's about 2:15 when you guys each arrive at your different locations.
Okay, so how about we say try and be as quick as possible. It might take some time. There was a coffee shop right next to the where we grabbed the metal detector. We would just try and reconvene there at like 5.
Sure.
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, you decide to reconvene at 5, giving each of you about 2 hours and 45 minutes to do your own various things. Beau and Sienna. Let's go ahead and go back to Helena. Those people kind of, you see them kind of like talking to one another before going back into their respective home. And boom. You make your way into the wonderful area of Helena. two of you taking your vehicle to the coroner's office. Two of you taking your vehicle to the sheriff's department. Each team, go ahead and choose a person and roll me a d20, and we will go with them first.
I'll do it.
Cool. Whoever gets highest will go first. So Outlaw rolls a 15 for the coroner's office. Ayianna or Irish.
Roll, because
You want me
I'm
to roll?
not.
Okay.
I already
roll
got
me
100 once.
Straight up d20.
12.
All right, so we will go ahead and go to the coroner's office first. I like leaving things up to dice when I don't know what to do exactly. I feel like it's the best course of
Fair enough.
action. Okay. Give me just a second here. Perfect. All right. You make your way. We could see you guys arriving into the parking lot of. Let's go ahead and change this up. Mix it up a bit, huh? That should be fun. You make your way into the parking lot of the local coroner's office. You realize that the coroner's office actually shares their their space with the county probation office. And so it's not
the sheriff's office. I was like, oh god, that's embarrassing.
No, it's the county probation office, actually. As you guys exit, you see, a couple of sheriffs on duty, kind of through there. Go ahead and roll me an alertness check, you guys. Lynas and Constance. Success. Fumble.
3 100s.
Willie goes to wow, that's a lot of crit fails, Willie.
What can I say? I'm good at this.
You're good at
Aim
this.
to impress.
You lean down to tie your shoes, and you're totally unaware of everything, and almost get hit by a car before Constance kind of pushes you out of the way.
I'm
God.
supposed to be intelligent, dude. Why am
pull
I
him into the-
tying my shoe in the middle of the...
You could be intelligent but unwise.
Yeah, clearly you are not very alert whatsoever.
Oh, God.
Dude, get Velcro shoes, my god.
With that said, the county coroner is only a few blocks east of the sheriff's office. I mean, Helena is a small city, and tends to be that all the government buildings tend to be kind of near one another, clustered together. You do not, as you go in to the coroner's office, you realize, Constance, that there are a bunch of cameras kind of watching the entrances. And you do see that there are one or two deputies about during normal business hours. What are you guys going to do? You guys just going to walk right in?
As a more out of character question, Delta Green in general, do we have any kind of clearancy flash a badge type things, or are we, when we're doing this, literally just people?
No, that's a great question. Delta Green themselves wouldn't have any badges that you can flash.
No.
However,
do they kind of? Is there any way that we can be like, we're here on official business, don't ask questions or whatever? Like, not literally, but.
yeah, the agent actually gave you guys each like essentially FBI consultant badges, and so you do have those.
Okay, that's okay. For the time being, I'm not that bothered about the fact that there are cameras and people. It seems relatively normal.
Sure.
Well, give them a subtle indication to Lynas that they exist.
Sure. You can hear the sounds of traffic people moving about in the background, that type of thing, as you make your way into the entrance of the county coroner's office. And you see a young woman there kind of sitting at the desk as the door kind of like rings as you go in, and she goes, hello, welcome. How can I help you all?
I'm here to see a dead body.
Well, this is the county coroner's office. We do have several of them. Is there one in particular?
Mr. Jacob.
Yeah, no. Well, I will need to see some type of identification.
Okay, here you go. By the that I was given.
Oh, all right. I didn't know the FBI was in on this, but absolutely, please. Yes, come on in. And she'll kind of bring you to the back. There's kind of like the cold storage area. And she would point towards a specific drawer and even kind of like open it up, and you can see the black bag of Deputy Jacobs there with the tag on his toes. Okay, is there... do you need any assistance with anything? Is there anything else I could do? I'm sorry our coroner's out today, but I can help you with something if I can.
Oh, I think we're good now.
Okay. So yeah, she'll just kind of walk out of it, and you are in the middle of this room. A black bag of Jacobs out on this cart. You can smell formaldehyde, the smell of death in the air, and cleanliness all kind of intermingled. Maybe your voice echoes off of kind of like the hard walls and ceilings. And it's just the two of you and in this room with the body.
Okay. Is there like a surgeon table thing?
Yes, you would have all you'd have a bunch of tools that are there.
Okay.
I'll be my guest.
Well, do you want to help me put the body on the table?
Yep. Sure.
Lynas is also just staring at the body when he's saying this. He's not looking at anyone.
Interesting. Okay. So Outlaw, you go ahead and touch the body and help him out and pull it up onto the table with him.
Yeah. Do we have gloves? I'm not touching it. I'm not. Do you have gloves, Lynas? I'm not touching the body.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, there are absolutely gloves in the
I would
room.
assume I would be carrying gloves.
Yeah, I would think so.
Absolutely.
Seems like a you thing.
But that said, I do appreciate that level of clarification and making certain that you do have it and that you're saying those things out loud. So thank you.
Oh yeah, my Constance isn't touching.
Okay, so you open up the black bag, and sure enough, you see the body of Deputy Jacobs before you. And you begin to conduct your investigation. What are you looking for in particular, if anything in particular? Lynas.
Hold on. So, like, I guess I would be like double checking because, like, I'm, like there's high concentration of metals, like the heavy metal stuff in all of his organs, and like just double checking everything that I was told at the meeting, and then seeing if I can find anything else out of the ordinary that wasn't talked about.
Sure. All right, so let's start with you rolling a medicine check.
All right.
To be clear, for the time being, Constance is just watching very closely because she wants literary accuracy for when she writes about this sort of thing.
Also,
Sure.
I look very excited at this point. Like I'm about to really go into my zone.
For sure.
Like I'm about to like do a little dance or something. Just
Fucking-
humming to myself.
Guy's a fucking weirdo.
Hey, I mean, I get it. You know, when you enjoy something, you enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Listen, he's an awkward man, okay?
Oh yeah. Like yeah.
So I imagine that this is kind of like this is a coroner's office. So it's
Right, he's already had his autopsy, right?
yes. And so you're able to kind of look at some of the files that he has. There's also other instruments for you to be able to utilize, like a microscope and other things,
Right.
that type of thing. All right. So the first thing that you found, the unknown gut flora that they were kind of talking about, that there was some other type of thing in his system. It seems to be thriving on the heavy metals in Jacob's system, even though the rest of his body is dead.
Ew.
Can I roll a biology check to see if I know what that is?
Go for it.
Damn it.
damn.
You're not in.
Smart boy.
You're not. Well, you know what? I'm trying to. It doesn't ask for multiple checks for that. So
it doesn't?
It doesn't. So you know what? I think that's something I was actually supposed to give you. Well, you know what? Biology would make sense. Oh, you also rolled an 86, which is the worst possible result.
What?
Yeah. It's so. In the game, there's a fun rule I play with. 86 is the worst possible result, and 69 is the best possible result.
The question.
Mhm.
If I fail, but it's a 69, is that a succeed?
Yes.
Okay. Damn, I got a 67 and a 68. What is this bullshit?
Yeah, right. So you're not entirely certain what this is, but it does appear to be a type of fungus.
Okay.
As you continue to look through, you see that the fungus life-like spores of his gut flora can be found in other organs, as if carried from his digestive system into the bloodstream.
Okay. So do I know if this fungus spread while he was still alive, or is like all this spreading after he died? Because he said it was alive still.
I did say it's alive still. You notice that the gut flora seems to still be thriving on the heavy metals in Jacob's system, even though he has passed. As for whether this continued, as for whether or not this was the case before he passed on as well, you wouldn't know, because all you have to look at right now is the dead body.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
And you find that
gonna-
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna try and take a sample of it.
Absolutely.
Take it with
You'd
me.
also find that the strange flora is found in all organs with concentrations of heavy metals.
So it's just like wherever the heavy metal is, the fungus is there,
Correct.
pretty much. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Do I need to roll anything to get like a sample or anything?
No. Some checks you just get automatically. And with your medicine check, it
Okay.
being at a 90, we're just going to hand wave that. I'm not going to make
Cool.
you... That's like simple level 1 or like entry-level medical student stuff.
All right. So because
Um,
I don't know what this is, and obviously it looks pretty terrifying, I'm gonna put this in like a biohazard label thing
Sure.
and just be like, yeah, don't touch this. and I'm like wearing goggles. I'm like wearing a full-on like PPE suit. You know, being very careful at this point.
Oh, so to be clear, just so I'm understanding, when you realized it, you realized that gloves were insufficient, and then you switched into full
Yes.
PPE gear.
Correct. When I'm
Gotcha.
like, oh, I don't know what this shit is, was like, okay, I'm still having a great time, enjoying myself, but except like you see like this like kind of concerned look on my face of like, I don't know what this is, so I immediately go and like put on a full suit.
Sure. Okay. Give me a second here.
I don't know how Miss Constance reacts to me doing that, because I haven't even like looked at her. Like,
I was gonna notice
not
that.
even
It's like,
not even a glance.
everything, everything okay? What's all this for?
Oh, I don't know what this is, so it's just, you know, standard procedure.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand over here in the corner, away from this situation.
Kind of nods at you and just goes back into his little humming of whatever I'm humming about.
Flight of the Bumblebees.
Yeah.
I just read through the files, assuming it just matches the description we were given earlier.
So you continue to work through it, and as you're looking through the body, and I'm going to say a good chunk of time has passed now. This takes time to go through all the testing and the like. So by the time you're done with the investigation, you'll just head back to the coffee shop. With that said, another odd thing that you realize when you take a piece of the sample and you kind of look at it under the microscope, and this is just rolling over your initial medicine check, you realize that the officer's body is not decomposing. Indeed, the unknown gut flora seems to be rekindling dead cells, repairing damage, and infusing them with energy. And you're not entirely certain how, because this doesn't jive with anything you've ever studied before.
Okay, so
it is somehow also
clear.
neutralizing cell death factors.
Okay, so it's like almost healing, I would say. Like, it looks like it's like repairing itself.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like some fucking Wolverine shit going on right
Nice.
here.
And Constance is just in the corner like, la la la.
At this point, I'm like, holy shit, this thing is like, you know, I'm like super excited. Like, this is all going on in my head. I'm just like, this thing is like repairing itself. It's dead, but it's killed its host potentially, and now it's like taking over the host. Like, that's what's kind of I'm thinking about in my head.
Sure.
And I once again am like, okay, I need to not touch it or cut myself or anything around this. And now I'm like, with the biohazard thing, I like, when I finish with looking at the, you know, the sample and stuff, I put it back in. I pull out my duct tape. I duct tape it. You know, I like make sure it's super contained. Like, nothing can get in or out. Yeah, it's like extra sealed.
Yeah, so you're containing the body so that it absolutely can't like do anything.
I'm containing the sample that I took because I want to take the sample with me. I want to take that.
Oh, gotcha. So you're containing both the sample and the body, or just the sample?
The sample at the moment, because I'm not done like looking at the body yet. I think I don't know. Am I done?
Yeah, you're pretty much done. The only other thing that you can think of is running a DNA analysis, but other than that, but that would take like multiple days. Now, that's not to say that you can't start it. It's just that it'll take some time for you to get that information back.
Yeah, I would start it, and then I would zip up, you know, clean up the mess I made on the body, as careful as can be, and I would seal it back up, and I would pretty much, I don't know, right? Do not open under any circumstances.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Oh. I'll put my mic down. Hold on. All right.
You will get the results from the DNA analysis back in 1 day.
Ooh, that's a good
Nice.
roll.
That's a really good roll.
Oh,
Damn, I'm good at my job.
You making up for those hundreds now?
mm.
Could have been either way. Could have been good or bad.
While he's kind of finishing up, Constance wants to go back and talk to the woman they spoke to when he came in, and just sort of ask for a list of people that were sort of involved in his autopsy and note any names down.
So the person that she would say was involved with the autopsy was the coroner, who's actually not home here today.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not in today.
Yeah, his name is Dr. Brian Holsey, and he's 32 years old.
Okay. No, appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, you get that information about who he is, and she just says, "Hope he's he hopefully should be back tomorrow. He's just feeling a little bit under the weather today."
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
Growing concern in Constance.
Anything else you would like to do in the coroner's office?
I think I'm good. We got the files, right? We looked over that.
Yeah, I was kind of looking over it while you were doing the stuff. I assume it was very sort of standard stuff that we got told in the briefing. Cause of contamination, inconclusive, blah blah.
Cool.
As you turn off the lights and head out of the room, door echoes behind you. Make your way through the reception area and off to the car. And we come back as you get ready to meet at the coffee store. We now take our... we now go to Sienna and Beau. Sienna and Beau, you guys have just arrived at the sheriff's office. It is 2:15 for you. And it is a pretty active office. There's about 43 sworn-in officers and 36 non-sworn civilian personnel in detention or in technical, administrative, and other support functions. So it's not like it's just like a small mom-and-pop shop. They got a pretty decent thing going here. And it makes sense. It's a city. They're the sheriff office for a city of about 62,000 some odd people. You can, when you exit, some people are going out on patrol, some are coming back from patrol, but all of you are there. What do you guys do?
I guess I'll turn to my wife Sienna. I'll turn to Sienna and be these guys might be a little standoffish. Especially if they're investigating the death as well. So we've got to be a little cautious about that.
Okay. I'll let you take point.
Oh god, I didn't mean that, but okay. Guess we'll walk in.
Okay.
Prankster?
Yes.
How long? When did we leave? I think. Sorry.
The coroner's office?
Yeah.
So I'm putting you guys at the 5:30, about the time you guys said you were
Okay.
going to meet up at the at the coffee shop.
Sounds good. I'm gonna make a quick pit stop at a store on the way.
I
was
gonna
also
go
gonna see if I could.
So
something else
when is
pretty good.
Linus going to be doing a pit stop for?
I'm buying 4 PPE suits. Or
Uh,
4.
Absolutely. And that's something that's okay. So there are levels of hazmat gear. There is your basic kind of like there's like your basic head to toe thing that's not pressurized. It doesn't have air pumping through it, and so it is just like that. It's decent protection. And then there's like the fully pressurized suits, which have their own atmosphere inside, and that's intended to push out so that nothing can get in. And so those are different levels of like available. Like you can get an uninflated one really easily, just from any kind of like tool store, because or hardware store rather, because people are like working on their cars all the time and stuff, and sometimes if they're doing painting, they kind of essentially use the same Tyvek suits. But if you're going up a level, that's going to require some additional bells and whistles. So just to be clear, you're just getting those basic Tyvek ones?
I would assume that's the only thing I get in the area, so yeah.
So you would know. Well, actually, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check. Just roll underneath your intelligence.
Big brain. Like the statistics?
Yes. So go to the statistic, click on the button next to it, and as long as you roll under your intelligence roll, perfect.
Big brain comes in clutch.
Big brain comes in clutch. Helena is the capital city of Montana. Montana's not large. Yeah, it's like 500,000 some odd people. It's one of the smaller by population states in the entire United States. Helena comprises over 10% of that population alone. As such, because it's kind of the center of a lot of these things, there's like an EPA organization here, which is kind of one of the agents from that is heading up the investigation into this case, y'all have yet to make contact with. But you would know that the EPA, among other organizations, even like the FBI and some other government organizations, would have access to like the fully pressurized suits.
Okay. So yeah, I would like to get that. And then I realize this is in a time period that I have cell phones.
Sure.
Around 5:15-ish. Around then. Because I would assume that's when I would find out everything. I want to text our other 2 people being like, get the fuck out. Because they went to the dead body, where the dead body was. Correct?
I thought we were going to the sheriff's office.
They're going to
they
the
went to the
sheriff's
sheriff's
office.
Oh yeah, no, we
Oh,
haven't
never
been
mind,
near the
never
dead
mind.
body.
I wasn't paying attention at that time.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All right,
But then
so
I won't text them that.
you're good. All right,
He
so
died
going
at
back,
home, right?
he died at home. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought you guys were going to the home.
Oh, that's why you wanted to know the time. You wanted to see if you could get to them, and I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, no, that luckily they
Okay,
made
never mind,
the
I'm not gonna
decision.
text.
Yeah,
But I'm still gonna go get the suits.
I
absolutely.
wanted to pick up a camcorder to try and see if we find something that we can play the tape on.
Sure. You can probably find a VHS player through like a local general store, even a thrift shop. So yeah, I'll allow you. Yeah, that's something that's incidental. That's something you could easily get. Now you don't have access to a television because you guys don't have any lodgings yet, but it's currently where you are.
You're right.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Sienna and Beau, you make your way into the sheriff's office to see a hustling, bustling people going about their business for the day. What do you do?
I want to walk up to the reception or whoever's at the front desk.
Yes, hello, ma'am. How can we help you?
Hey, I'm here about doing like a little bit of an investigation on the death of one of your detectives.
Deputies.
Deputies.
Oh, you must mean the death of Deputy Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, we were told that there was going to be a small FBI consultation task group that was going to be helping. So, yes, we can help you with that.
Okay, I'm just gonna flash her the badge just so she knows it's us.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be able to have the details of his last job. Who was with him on that job?
Yeah, if he's got a partner, can we talk to his partner?
Yeah.
Well, the deputies tend to ride along alone. For more information on that, you'll have to get a hold of. You'll probably want to talk to our sheriff, Leo Potter. He would be able to be the one to kind of give you some more information about that. There's also the undersheriff and several other people that Deputy Jacobs worked with or that he was close with. So you're more than welcome to. But I would, especially given the gravity of the case and the fact that you're with the FBI, I think it would be wise to talk to the sheriff first, which I can get a hold of him if you need to.
Yes, please.
All right.
Sounds good.
So a moment goes by. She actually gets up from the desk, kind of like walks up the stairs to the top of this. Again, you really can't hear anything going up, but a moment later, a man comes down, who you can only assume is Sheriff Leo Potter. He's got a wide brimmed hat on. He looks to have some gray and kind of like a long, almost like walrus-like mustache. He doesn't look like he's fat, but he definitely looks a little bit overweight. And as you come by, he welcomes you. Yes, we were told that you were coming on in. I'm Sheriff Leo Potter. It's a pleasure to meet you. Puts out his hand to shake yours.
I will shake his hand.
Good strong handshake. Good strong handshake.
Firmly.
I'm getting the hint that y'all aren't from the States.
No, from the UK. I'm a sergeant in the military over there.
That's just. I just think it's funny that the FBI would be consulting with UK when they wouldn't send our own. Kind of smiles at you, kind of awkwardly.
Beau just gives a little bit of a grin and just shrug. It's a funny world.
It's kind of funny.
We're specialists. That's why the FBI contacted us.
Go ahead and roll me a persuade check. One of you.
Oh,
I'll do
mine's
it.
terrible. Mine's terrible.
Okay, I'll give it a go. Oh, come on!
Oh, come on.
He looks at you and he smiles and he just says, "Specialists." Yeah. So how can I help you two specialists out?
I think that's certainly special, okay?
I didn't say you weren't. Kidding.
Okay, so let's get down to the business here. We would like to know everything about the deputy's moves before he died. The days, like, going towards it. What jobs he was on, the people he was with. The nitty-gritty details.
Well, he was on patrol, went on the same route he did every day, making certain people were safe and the like. Kind of like blows a small raspberry. I don't think there was anything too out of the ordinary. I know he's really good friends with his patrol sergeant Uriah Weiss. So if you wanted some more details on that, I would talk to him. As a sheriff, I'm mostly administrating things from where I am, but I give you permission to go talk to his people, to his colleagues.
Thank you. Is there any paperwork that we can look at from his last patrol?
Yeah, I suppose any of that would be with his patrol sergeant Uriah Weiss. Like I said, I would get that information from him.
Alrighty.
And I just he would eventually kind of like walk with you over to Patrol Sergeant Uriah Weiss's desk, and he looks at him and says, Sergeant Weiss, this is two FBI consultants. They're specialists. And go ahead and roll me an alertness check. They are working with the FBI to help with the death of Deputy Jacobs. Like as he says the specialist things, you can like catch out of the corner of your eye like this gleam, this like it doesn't seem like it's all sitting all right with him, like all of this.
Very disingenuous.
Yeah. But it's only a brief flash, but enough to make you think, huh. So please help them in anything that they need. He shakes your hands, goes and walks off. Maybe you catch like one last look of him kind of like looking at you suspiciously before he disappears. Sergeant Weiss looks at you. Hi. How can I help you, ladies?
First off, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Secondly, we're here to investigate the death of Deputy Jacob.
Yeah, that's yeah, that was rough. None of us could believe it just happened so suddenly. How can we help you? We thought that it was pretty much taken care of, though. Heavy metal poisoning, right?
That's what we've heard, but we're wondering if he did anything or came into contact with anything out of the ordinary on his patrols leading up to, becoming ill suddenly.
Yeah,
do you have any paperwork that you guys did on those patrol routes?
Yeah, I mean, well, he would submit his report at the end of any shift. And so I can let you take a look at those. So you're more than welcome to do that. And after a minute, kind of like goes into, it's all digitized. And so I imagine he goes to his computer, finds the proper reports and prints them out. And he said, here's all of his reports a week before he died.
Thank you so much.
As you're looking through the reports, all of it seems like pretty normal stuff happening in the city of Helena. Some of it's like breaking up domestic disturbance stuff, a couple of DUIs that he'd issued, some people without proper registration, pulling over for traffic violations, all manner of kind of like little incidental things. You know that he also wore a body cam, and so he had body cam footage of pretty much any time he was out. Essentially how it works is anytime you're engaged to go into a call, they click on the camera, and they'll have footage of that he is asked to submit every time he is done with his shift. As you're looking through it, there's a couple of odd things that point out to you. But the one thing that's kind of odd is actually, you know what? Go ahead. Let's see. I need you to roll for this because it's kind of because you're just reading it. why don't you guys go ahead and what skill are you utilizing as you're kind of going through these reports? What do you think would be what do you think would allow you to kind of look at something and see that's out of the ordinary?
I have no idea.
Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy would actually be a really good one. That's all report garbage stuff. And sometimes fails in Delta Green don't necessarily mean that you failed the role, but essentially what it will mean is like it might take longer for you to get information. So like a successful bureaucracy role might be like you got the information lickety split. A failed one would be like the other day when you guys had to do all that accounting and you failed those accounting roles and it just took you 6 hours. So go ahead and both of you roll me a bureaucracy roll. Perfect. Sienna, you're looking through these reports, and the one thing that kind of like comes out to you that's odd is there's an unusual public contact that he had 3 days before he died. Jacobs writes that he called in that he saw someone walking out in the open during a really cold rain. Wasn't wearing a coat or anything like that. On the side of the road, actually. A few minutes later, he reported that all was well and he went back in service. He writes that a drifter had essentially just thrown up on him.
Can we pull this, like the body cam footage from that encounter?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We'll do this, and then I think this will be a great place for us to end. At least for today. So you request the footage from Uriah Weiss. And you put it on a screen, and Uriah is sitting there kind of looking with you. Three of you in kind of like a small room off to the side. Chairs, tables, a television. Smell kind of musty in the air. Eventually, like the television pops on and the footage begins to play. And you just hear, you see kind of like the footage like snap on. And sure enough, you see through the windshield of the police cruiser, there's a man just kind of like standing on the side of the road, not wearing a jacket. Rain is falling down, just pouring on him. It's odd. You hear Deputy Jacobs kind of like get on his radio, and he says, Central, this is Deputy Jacobs. We have somebody out here. It's kind of an odd situation. Standing out here in the rain alone. Gonna see if they're okay. As he gets out of the car, keep in mind this is body cam footage, and kind of closes the door behind him. The rain's pouring down on his hat, and it's really making it difficult to hear. The man appears to be a Caucasian in his 30s and 40s, wearing business attire. He's pale and he's ill. He doesn't look like a drifter. Excuse me, sir. Hi there. Can we help you? The man just appears to be kind of like confused and looking around, not entirely certain that he knows what's going on. Sir, do you have an ID? Would like to do anything I can to help you. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know. Not entirely certain what I can do. It's kind of like mumbling. You could barely make out what he's saying. Deputy Jacobs can barely make out what he's saying. Sir, let me go ahead and get you someplace safe. This isn't good for you to be here like this. So Deputy Jacobs goes back to his car. You see all this through his body footage, grabs kind of an emergency blanket and throws it over the man as they continue to talk out in the open. He walks the man back to the car to sit in the back seat, doesn't close the door or restrain him. He's like, sir, I'm just Just want to make certain that you're safe. Want to make certain everything's okay. You seem to be. And in the middle of this, suddenly this man vomits violently all over Deputy Jacobs. In fact, it gets all over his body camera. Like you can even you're seeing through vomit at this point in time. And he's just like, oh, fuck. God dang it, motherfucker. And as he, Jacobs recoils cursing. Said he's going to call. I need the fire departments and I'm going to have to call the fire departments and paramedics to help with this. And you see him again, try to he reaches for his radio. And the man looks at him and just says, stop. And as he does that, Jacob stops, sitting there transfixed, holding his thing like he's about to say something, but doesn't do anything. The man tells Jacob, forget about it all. Let me go. Let me go and forget about it all. Jacob stands there weirdly, still and silent, while the man just walks away. There's just 2 minutes of footage where you see this man kind of loping, almost limping in towards the forest before he just disappears out of sight. With, for all intents and purposes, all you can tell, Jacobs is just standing there watching. A moment later, he closes the door, gets back into his car. Central, it was nothing. It was nothing. Body camera footage snaps off. Wise looks at all that and he's like, what the fuck?
Can you get an ID on that guy?
That type of facial recognition footage. I mean, I can't tell. The rain made it really difficult to see in the vomit. I think only the FBI would have facial recognition software that could do what you wanted.
Can I get a copy of that
can we
tape?
tape the tape?
Yeah, if it's helpful for the organization. That was incredibly irresponsible of Jacobs. I can't believe that. That's bizarre. Only a callous officer would calmly watch him walk away into the cold rain. Kind of shakes his head. Well, I guess we'll do what we can.
Ask Weiss where this happened, or is it in the report whereabouts it happened?
You would be able to tell from the report that Jacobs doesn't list any details. But I imagine you guys are looking and asking Weiss these questions, trying to look back at it. And I imagine that there's kind of like a frozen frame on the television screen before you. And it is, because it's just so bizarre, of this man walking off into the forest in the middle of this downpour of rain. And that's where we'll leave our session for this week.
Man, it's getting interesting.
Okay. All right, guys. Just a quick double check. If you failed a check, remember to put a check next to that in the box for the session. Don't roll to update yet. We're going to do it after every 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Or the end of session, whichever comes first.
Wait. No, I didn't do stealth.
Just double checking. Is everybody good with the 17th? or is that, no, the 19th. Is everybody good for next Wednesday?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
should have no problems from here on
I'm
out.
so excited, dude.
I know.
This is so creepy.
All right.
It's
Legit.
zombies.
It is like the
100%
start of a
zombies.
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Holy.
Zombies.
Half wondering if we should go back to that fucking hut in the woods and
Let's go get the rocket launcher.
We need the rocket launcher back. Stat.
Let's just nuke Helena. There
let's
we
go find that dead lady that we fucking let go.
Oh
Molly,
my
and I
God.
found you
Yeah.
a house.
Nuke Helena.
Yeah, we
That's
can't
amazing.
we can't save this city. Let's just fucking nuke it.
It's a little early
Yeah,
to make
accident.
that
Accidental
call.
Lost
nuke.
cause.
You know, we're doing
Oh, you know,
testing.
we could just put a giant dome over the city. No one in, no one out.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and close our stream. So everybody, thanks for watching. You guys have a good one for today. And we'll be back same time, same channel next week. And I'll let everyone else say bye too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.